Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Planet Film Network. I am one of your hosts, Sean Monk.
I'm your other host, TJ Cornwell, and today we're going to be reviewing the first three episodes of Andor that just released.
Yeah, today we are here to talk about the first three episodes of Andor on Disney Plus, and just kind of our overall thoughts, what we thought of them, some of our favorite moments, and everything. So yeah, I guess I will start with uh, just general thoughts. I really, really loved these three episodes. I thought that they were absolutely fantastic. I know I put up a quick 1 or 2 minute review on the channel the other yesterday. Still feels like so long ago, but it was literally just yesterday, like at the crack of dawn, with just some of my quick thoughts. But to go a little bit more in depth, I think for me, major standouts, of course, Diego Luna is doing a great job at the center of the show, but then also Stellan Skarsgård, who comes in closer to the tail end of these first three episodes,
Mm-hmm.
really having the biggest part to play in the third episode. But also Fiona Shaw, I want to shout out, who of course is Petunia Dursley from the Harry Potter films, but in this plays, and again, this is full spoilers for the first three episodes of Andor. Plays somebody who I think was probably the last person I expected her to play, which is Cassian's mother,
Mm.
which is crazy. She plays Marva Andor.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's just so cool to me. And I really, going into kind of the canon aspects of it, I really like how they're kind of playing around with Cassian's origins. Like they have that whole
Mm-hmm.
conversation about um, Marva says to him, like, who else knows that you were from Canary? Because we always told everyone that you were from Fest. And I love that because the Rogue One Visual Dictionary says that Cassian Andor is from the planet Fest. Like
Oh, okay.
the Visual Dictionary said that in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're changing his origin for this show, but they're saying, well, the old canon origin of Cassian is just our cover story, and I like
Mm-hmm.
that they did that to kind of get around it because we've seen a
Yeah.
lot of things, whether it's Kanan or Ahsoka, a couple things in canon, when it comes to actually showing them on screen, they can change a little bit, which I'm fine with. Is I thought that was a very clever way to get around that, of kind of changing it up. Um, but yeah, I thought it was great. I thought the cinematography, sound design, and the score also were absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially some of the percussion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what did you think? What were some of your favorite standout moments from these first three?
First of all, I just really like to say I think the show looks amazing,
Mm.
um, and I think it might be because of the new TV that I got, but it just everything just
Yeah.
pops. Like those colors are popping off the screen. Yeah, score. Totally agree with you. That was one of the standouts so far for me through
Mm-hmm.
the first three episodes. The score is just absolutely fantastic. Performances also great. Diego Luna doing his thing. Skarsgård doing his thing. I think Adria Arjona, I think is how you pronounce her name. I thought she was
Mm-hmm.
really good too.
Yeah, as Bix.
Um,
Yeah.
yes. And I do like that there's a little humor in there sometimes. For
Mm-hmm.
example, like when they're talking, him and his mother are talking about who knows, like who did you tell that you're from? What's the planet called again?
Canary.
Canary, and she was like, well, everybody that I told is dead. So
Yeah,
it
exactly.
was
Yeah, I
like
love
that
that.
that
Yeah.
one thing was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's the kind of
Even
humor
in
that
such a
works
serious
so
moment,
well in Star Wars.
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just
Hmm.
forced, joke, just for humor's
Hmm.
sake. Like I feel like we got a lot of
Yeah.
that in kind of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, and for the first episode at least, I felt like there was a lot of different things going on. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
getting this part to sell to this person, but also like he killed these two officers, so now like he's on the run as well. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I thought it all came together in the third episode pretty well. Um, but yeah, I am really excited to see where the show goes. Is this was this what is this, like 12 episode season?
Yeah, 12 episode season.
12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so but yeah, I'm definitely ready for more Andor.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we haven't even gotten into aspects like Coruscant and Mon Mothma, Saw Gerrera. We haven't even seen or touched any of that. I know from a lot of different reviews and stuff, the press, the screeners that went out with the first 4 episodes, um, do let us know that in episode 4 is where we start to see Mon Mothma and stuff like that, so we know that she is coming very soon. And also something I like that Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy both said is that, you might see these first 3 episodes, but don't think that this whole show is going to be centered around Ferrix and all these people. Diego Luna, I think specifically on the red carpet, said the show constantly evolves and they travel. There's a lot of kind of not globe trotting, but galaxy trotting, like a lot of different planets and locations, both familiar ones and new ones and stuff that we get to see in this. So that I'm super, super excited for. But again, just diving into a little bit deeper to some of these moments, just like also B2 Emo, the droid in this, just absolutely hilarious. I love that the droid is speaking basic, and he's got a little bit of a stutter. Kind of reminded me of Dio from Rise of Skywalker. But I thought that he was fantastic. And I really liked how it just showed, it's kind of like what we've been talking about with House of the Dragon, that this show's doing a very similar thing of it's allowing us to get to know these characters and how they interact with each other and the world, and that's what we're seeing the story through. We're not just being like kind of driven around the plot. It's this person makes this decision, then Tim, there you go. You made it into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Then he even kind of looks like, not really, but yeah. Tim, he gets drunk one night. Well, why is my girl talking to, this guy that I'm clearly jealous of?
Right.
Has a stupid moment. I'm going to turn him in. He sounds like this guy they're looking for. I'm going to turn him in. And just that simple decision sets Cassian and the entire galaxy onto this trajectory, this snowball effect of him getting involved in this stuff. The people of Ferrix, having this kind of altercation with the Corpos, who we haven't even really talked about yet, who I thought were fantastic. This kind of local police force.
Yeah, so when you said like those guys, they're just an extension of the Empire, correct? I'd say like probably the lowest level of them.
No, I think it's more like what I think it's more like if Walmart had cops.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought, because the sheriff or whoever the guy was, the head guy was like, don't make a big deal of this, because it's almost like the people of Ferrix have an understanding where they don't puff things up enough to get the Corpos involved, and then the Corpos make sure to keep everything contained enough so that the Empire doesn't have to come in and take control and stuff. But then you have this one guy, who I forget his name, but the main guy who
Cyril Karn.
Yeah, Cyril. Who is kind of the Dwight Schrute of it all, of just can't let it go, even when his boss tells him, just let it go. This isn't what happened. Let's say they died, doing something heroic, but I like that he said let's have them die doing something helpful, not heroic, because he was like, nobody needs a parade. We just need it to look like they were doing their job, which I thought was really, really good. But right off the bat, from the start of the first episode, like with the obvious Blade Runner stuff, and then Cassian, just like we met him in Rogue One, just straight up icing that guy. The first guy dies, inadvertently, accidentally, but then the second guy, this show is just so tense. Do you feel that too? Are you like stressed and tensed watching this?
Yeah, I could definitely feel the tension. I didn't expect him. I honestly didn't expect him to kill that guy, I guess. When he did, I was kind of surprised. Then
I was like, are we really going there?
When he has the guy at gunpoint and Stellan's like, yeah, just kill him. It's like, okay, like we're really just just icing all these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, something that I think was really awesome in these episodes was that chase, that just the chase of the Corpos going against Cassian Andor and Rail.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that whole kind of that whole warehouse thing that they end up in, and they're shooting around, and all the things are falling from the ceilings. I thought that was really cool.
Those all felt so. Those like engine blocks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You could feel like how dangerous it felt. You know what I mean? Like I felt like at any moment one of those chains would like whip around and like smack, like literally like rip somebody's head off. It felt so real. And that's a mix of the set design and the sound design, you know, making those things feel so heavy when they fall. And I like that it's like, you could tell that Luthen is obviously trying to recruit Cassian for, you know, whether they're calling it the rebellion or not, but Cassian's, all he's worried about is getting the little like Imperial device thing. He's like, no, I gotta go back and get it, and like he keeps trying to go back and getting it. And then eventually just falls on it.
This is something that just the Empire can't track, or it makes you look like you're an Empire ship. Maybe is that?
Yeah, I think that was the idea, that it was like almost like that thing that they get in Rise of Skywalker, like that like it's like the code masker or something like that.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, I thought that was all great. And also another scene I want to talk about too real quick is the scene with Luthen on kind of that transport where that old guy just like talks to him about it, and it just gives you such great, and it's like a 3-minute scene just dedicated to this guy just talking to Luthen, and it tells you so much about how just how everyday life is under the Empire. You know, that he's like, you know, this, the car used to run, you know, on the ground, but now it's, you know, up in the sky because it's hard to breathe on the ground now. And talking about how the Empire, you know, transportation to your job used to be free, but he's like, now they tax you to go to your job and to get home. You know, they're like getting him on all ends. He says, I think he even says like, you know, they screw you on both ends and everything. Also, too, the swearing, they jumped straight from Karabast and Dank Farrik right to, you know, Cassian saying, I don't give a shit in this episode, in these first 3 episodes, which was crazy. I think Tony Gilroy was just like, if you want me to make a realistic, you know, Star Wars spy thing, I'm not going to have, you know, I'm going to have them actually swear and do these things, which I thought was really cool. Again, I just liked how, again, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong or that, you know, Star Wars isn't adult enough or something. It's just refreshing, I think. It's just refreshing how mature the dialogue and the storytelling is in this show so far.
Yeah, something that we haven't talked about, but I think is interesting, is the flashbacks to him as a child.
For sure.
And at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the first episode, he's looking for his sister, which I assume we're gonna build more upon. I feel like it kind of we had in the first episode, and it kind of took a back seat. I feel like in the second and third, where it wasn't really mentioned, but we were still getting flashbacks. But what's up with that ship that just kind of crash landed? Those guys were green, like
yellow.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know. My best guess, so it's kind of weird, and I think it's on purpose, is so they have the Separatist logo on them, because this is clearly, if Cassian's a kid, it's during the Clone Wars. So they have a Separatist badge on them, those guys that get shot down. But then when Marva comes and gets Andor, she says something like, you know, they killed a Republic officer or something. But they had Separatist logos on. So I don't know if that's something that we're going to unravel further going forward, because I think we've even seen from trailers and stuff that there is more to these flashbacks that we're gonna get. So I'm wondering if maybe it is gonna be a thing where throughout the season, we do consistently flash back and get more information on some of the stuff that happened when he was younger. Because we've also seen those shots in the trailers of clone troopers and stuff. We didn't get any of that in these first 3 episodes, so you got to assume that that's still to come. So yeah, I think there's something going on where the people of Kenari got caught up in some sort of battle in the Clone Wars. And then in terms of them being yellow, my best guess is whatever that yellow gas was poisoned them somehow. Maybe, or something like that. That's my best guess, because then we also get Marva later. When she goes to rescue Andor, they have the gas mask on, and then B2 is like, air purity is restored or whatever, and they take the masks off. So it sounds like there was some sort of poison used on them or something.
Do we know anything about this whole mining incident that happened? That was just kind of abandoned.
Yeah, but also remember too, what did they call Jeddah when they did the Death Star? They said, Jeddah was destroyed in a mining incident. So we've seen the Empire at least use that as an excuse before. So I wouldn't be surprised if Palpatine was using that excuse. Well, for the Republic or for the Separatists, considering he was running both of them. So. I wouldn't be surprised if there was something darker that happened on Kenari. Because also, where are all the adults? It's kind of like a Neverland situation going on. They're all kids. Seemingly the leader was like the older lady. She was the oldest one, but she even looked like she was like 20. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what's going on or where any of their parents are. So I think it's very, very interesting. And then also, it seems like from when Cassian got, in that ship and started breaking stuff to when Marva rescued him, that, a lot of time had passed. And then you get that kind of haunting scene where he looks at his own reflection and then he kind of like freaks out, which I thought, again, was great. There's so much in these episodes, so many scenes that just don't have any dialogue. Especially the end of episode 3, the whole last 10 minutes of episode 3, there's like no dialogue. It's just this like percussion of the score, with all these intercuts between the flashbacks and the present day of kind of Marva rescuing young Andor, bringing him to this new kind of life, and then Luthen rescuing current day Andor and bringing him into this new kind of life. And I love the way that they kept intercutting that. I was almost tearing up a little bit seeing, Marva like looking back at young Cassian, but then the camera would cut and it would be old Cassian. Like that was really emotional stuff just after those first 3 episodes. I really just think that these 3 episodes were just absolutely on fire.
They're real, and I could see like where like the it just feels like you said, like more adultish. Like it's not like they're swearing all over the place or anything, but it just has that like feel to it. Does this show have like a grain, or is that just me?
I don't know, because we said that too about Rogue One. I said that I was like, I hope it has like that Rogue One kind of filter to it. I think it's just the way that it looks. I think it's just the way that Tony Gilroy, likes things shot or something, because it just feels like Rogue One. It just has that kind of like 70s filter on it, especially with the lead corpo guy, the like Scottish one. He actually, I had no idea. He was the original police commissioner in the Batman. The one
I see that right here.
I was like, oh yeah, that was him, but he looked totally different. But I thought he was really fantastic too. But also, I love too that Cassian and Luthen, like, they just it's so much of Star Wars is about like hope and inspiration and stuff like that. But
I know this guy, that guy that you're talking about. He's in Chernobyl. He's one of those miners that they send in. He's like the main miner guy that they talk to. Yeah.
Wait, which one?
He's like the one that he like walks into the trailer. He talks to Stellan Skarsgård, and then he comes out like they all come out like naked, and he's the one who like talks to Stellan Skarsgård and Patrick Harris.
Oh, I got
Are you
so
talking
confused.
about?
I thought you were talking about Andor for a second. I forgot that Stellan Skarsgård's
Sorry.
in both shows.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, miners that, yeah, the episode where they were mining and it was so hot that they all, yeah.
Right.
Chernobyl, great show. Check it out if you haven't. Another fantastic Stellan Skarsgård performance. But, yeah, I really enjoyed in this, like I said, like about like just little things inspiring people. Like the guy that works at the shipyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cassian gives that little speech to him about like, wouldn't you want to like do something or stand up to these people or whatever. And so then later in the episode, when you just see that guy leaving the shipyard, but he's walking away from the Corpo's ship. And you're like, oh, I wonder if he did something. And then later, when that one guy goes to take off, you realize, oh, he did. He hooked their ship up to a cable. And then when that ship explodes, which was awesome, that it like wrapped itself around that big structure and then blew up. And then the main guy goes, they've got us surrounded. It's an ambush. And there's just, it's literally just the two of them. And they're just so like dumb. They think that they're they think themselves the Empire. They think that they're these like law enforcement, like they're in this great battle, but it's like, no, you just don't have any idea like Cassian and Luthen are like 5 steps ahead of you. That's all it is. But he's screaming like, if that was them, sir, then that would put them behind us. And he's like, oh. They all start like freaking out, and it's like, no, they're literally just in the same place. And then I love the fake out with the speeder that explodes, and then they just take off in the complete other direction. So great. But I want to talk a little bit about the main corpo guy, which I know you literally just told me his name, but with the black hair, because what do we think is going to happen with that guy?
Real Karn.
Yeah, where do we think that kind of he's going with his path? Do you think this is going to be kind of like a Callus situation where we have somebody firmly on, the more one end and then, kind of gets broken by the system, or what do you think's going on with that?
No, I don't think. I think he's probably going to stay like on that like corpo side, just from what you've seen from him in the first 3 episodes. He seems very just like where he would be somebody who wouldn't waver. But if he did switch, I'd be interesting to see what causes him to make that switch. I don't know if it's something that he just can't, he's just trying and he can't get them, or something comes to light where he's like, oh shit, like maybe I am on the wrong side here. I also like that, I like that name Corpo, because I think that was like in Cyberpunk, that's like one of the classes you could be, is like a Corpo class.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Hunger Games when they called like the videos that Katniss did like the propos. It just reminded me of that a lot with how it works, but it makes sense. And also, I think it was Alex Damon on Star Wars Explained made a great point. It's the Corpos is the corporate alliance, like from the Clone Wars. That's literally the same stuff, like the banking guild, all those things.
Right.
That's just what the corporate alliance has basically turned into, is that they were these great influential, people in the Clone Wars. Now they're basically like what I said, like Walmart cops. You know what I mean? Like, like Kroger cops or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really, really loving and enjoying it. But before we close out, what is the one thing you really hope that we see in, let's say, episode 4?
I hope we see, assuming this is going to be maybe the start of, and Dave said that like Mon Mothma starts to show up in episode 4. Basically just to see like how small that beginning kind of rebellion is. You know, how many people are we? Are we 200 or are we like 30?
Mm-hmm.
And then to see again more. I hope we kind of get more back to, and maybe this is like a multiple season long storyline, but the whole sister thing. I'm more interested in how he knows that she is still alive.
Alive, yeah, or at least
Um,
assumes or something, yeah.
because like what's her name? When she rescued him off that planet, she was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna blow this place to hell."
Yeah,
So at first I was like, "Oh, maybe she,
maybe
you
she
would think that
didn't
maybe
make it
she's
off or
not
something.
alive, but he
Mm-hmm.
seems to have information that she is." So,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
yeah.
and also too, I forgot almost at the beginning. She even says, "Yeah, I think we did have someone here from Canary."
Hmm.
So maybe even she literally was there. Um, but yeah, I think if I had to pick one thing, if we're seeing Mon Mothma next week, I don't know if we're gonna get this right away, but I just want to see what the hell is going on with Luthen's whole Coruscant persona with the long gray hair, and
Hmm.
that scene in in the trailer that we saw of
If
Stellan
yeah.
Skarsgård like with the long gray hair like hugging Mon Mothma or something. Like I want to know what's going on with that.
Hmm.
Is he just have a dual identity thing? Does he have a twin? What's going on with that?
Hmm.
I think it'd be very interesting to hear, but I'm very excited. I think it's probably a safe bet that we will see Coruscant, so I'll go deeper than that, and I'll say
Hmm.
specifically I want to find out. I hope we find out what the hell's going on with Luthen, with kind of that dual identity thing going on. Um, and then in terms of the future of the show, I'm just excited to see people like Saw Gerrera, see how he fits into this, what kind of
Right.
relationship he has with Luthen right now. Um, Whether again for some reason they just keep holding their Jimmy Smits card really close to the chest. I mean, I would be extremely shocked if he was not in this show, considering he played a big role in Rogue One,
Hmm.
with Mon Mothma and Cassian, and also if we're seeing the Imperial Senate, maybe the head of the Imperial Senate or one of the heads of the Imperial Senate, Bail Organa, would probably be an important person to include in the show. But again, I'm not going to get my hopes up that we're going to see him next
Hmm.
week, but that'd be somebody to look out for too in future episodes. But yeah, overall for me, I'll close out just saying, really loving the show so far. Like I said, I'm not downing any of the other shows. I freaking love Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels, all that stuff. Mando, even, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, all of them have such great qualities. I just find it refreshing how
Hmm.
serious and, frankly, I'll just say it, dramatic this show is so far in these first three
Hmm.
episodes. Not that, oh, this is how Star Wars should be all the time. I think there's room for both, but I just find it so refreshing and really enjoying it so far. So for me, really loving this so far. Make sure go ahead and follow us at the official PFN on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. That'll do it for me. TJ, what are
Yeah.
some of your thoughts?
Just real quick, final thoughts. Agree with you. I think the show is fantastic. Can't wait to hear more of that score later in these episodes.
Yes.
And I just love the grittiness feel to it. And this is definitely, um, it's obviously not better than Mando yet. I think
Mm-hmm.
it could have the potential. I think, so far
For
at
sure,
least.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely, I think it's like Mando is probably one, and then this is two for me so far,
Mm-hmm.
as far as Star Wars shows go. Live action. I'm not gonna say like animated because I feel like that's a whole different, And we have
Yeah.
one
Mm-hmm.
through 7 seasons of Clone Wars. We had how many episodes of Rebels.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I think the show's off to a great start. And I've been your host, TJ Cornwell. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow us on our social media channels: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and we will see you next time.
Boom.